In the previous tutorial, we've installed a joystick and we've installed a ROS package for the joystick and we tested it and saw that it actually works. Now what we want to do is to build a Docker image that will do all of that inside the Docker container and test that it actually works. So right now we want to apply a Docker, and as you know, to write a Docker you need to edit a Docker file. So I have it here. This is our Docker file. So from ROS noetic ROS core, this is this has all the dependencies of ROS and Ubuntu and whatever. What we want to do is the whole thing that we've already done in the previous tutorial. So apt-get update, apt-get install the ROS noetic joy. So this will install the joy package of ROS into our Docker container. Let's also apply some environment variables, okay, by .opt ROS noetic setup sh. And let's for now mark this line as a note. I'll talk about it later. And in the command, we can actually apply the command that we want to run inside our Docker. So as you recall, if we'll go back for the terminal, the previous command that we applied was, it was here. And we can end this. So the previous command that we have applied in the last tutorial was ROS launch, and we've located the ROS launch file. Okay, so ROS launch, opt, ROS noetic, share joy, launch, and all that. So this is the actual command that we want to run. Okay, but let's also mark this one as a note, and let's run another command just for the sake of the example. So cmd, and let's apply the ls command, the list command, and let's see if we can see the dev / input folder. Okay, so I'm saving this thing, and in order to compile the Docker and run it, we can use these commands. Okay, so back in the terminal. You know what? Let's open another terminal where the doc file exists. Okay, so open in terminal. And now let's paste this command. So we're building the Docker. Okay, and it was compiled. And as you know, when you do it for the first time, it will download some things and it will be a bit longer. But since I've already compiled it, then it is really short. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is to run the Docker. And what I want to show you is what happens when we do it without the ---- privilege. Okay, so sudo docker run it and joy. Okay, we've built a Docker package and we called it joy, and now we are running it. Okay, and as you can see, it cannot access /dev /input. For the Docker, this file just does not exist. But if we'll run it with the privileged, okay, with the privilege option, let's see what happens. Okay, and as we can see, we have here JS0. We can see that the joystick is connected, and the Docker image actually knows it's there. Okay, so now back to the Docker file, and let's erase that. And let's apply the real command that we want. Okay, and please note that I've marked this line as a note because I want to discuss it right now. So I'm saving the file. Let's go back to the terminal. Let's compile the Docker. Okay, so build -t joy and the current folder. Okay, it was compiled successfully, and now let's run it. And we can see that we have an error. It doesn't find Python in user bean environment. Okay, so this might happen to you as well, because in my system I have Python 3. So what we want to do is to actually tell the Docker that if you're referring to a user bean environment and looking for Python, it should be actually Python 3. So let's apply this command. Okay, so link -s, and now when you refer to user bean Python, it will refer you to user bean Python 3, and this should be a workaround for this problem. So let's save, okay, and let's recompile, and let's run the joystick. Okay, and as we can see, the Docker actually works. Okay, so we have a Docker. It actually runs locally, and now what we want to do is to upload the Docker into some kind of a DockerHub. We are of course using DockerHub for this example. So back to here, we've done our tests. We saw that it works locally. Now it's time to upload it to a DockerHub. It's not an obligation, but you are able to do it if you want to. So this list of commands are the commands that will upload your Docker image to the DockerHub. So let's start by, let's clear the screen, and let's start with Docker login. Okay, so I'm already logged in, and we can create, using buildx, we can create a name called Xbox controller. So right now I'm not referring to Joy. I'm changing the name to Xbox controller. And since it is already exists, then if I want to update it, I need to use --node instead of a --name. So I'm going to do the same thing and just right here, node. Okay. And now we can use it by applying docker buildx use Xbox controller, and we can now apply this line to install everything. Okay, and it works. And now let's inspect and see that everything is in order by using this example, buildx, inspect the bootstrap. Okay, and we can see everything. So we have the driver, Docker container, its name is Xbox controller, and we can see the different platforms it should be working on. And now in order to upload it to the DockerHub, let's use this command here. And what we're doing is Docker buildx, we're building the platform for Linux ARM64 and Linux AMD64, and we're going to call it Cogniteam /Xbox controller. So we're pushing the local folder into the cloud, into the DockerHub. And everything worked very well. So in our next tutorial, what we want to do is to actually define a JSON file that refers to this Docker image in DockerHub and upload this JSON file into the Nimbus system and see if we can stream the joystick outputs. So see you in the next tutorial.